I'm gonna move the camera over here. Let's see. Yeah, about like that. I guess you can see that. I've got some sheetrock screws. They're I'm using 2.5s, and this is called coarse thread. Okay, using an 1/8" drill bit. I only stick a little bit of the drill bit in there so I have as long as possible to get out there. Okay, I just tighten it up like that, get it on high. And what I'm going to end up doing, okay, is drilling some holes in here. I'm going to try to suck this door jamb back in that way. Okay. I do it like this. I could do it right out here without messing with this at all. But then you got to patch that and it looks bad. You see? Go the extra effort. Because once I get done, it's going to look like I wasn't even here. Now I stick that on low, ram this thing in there. And generally the head will push in, and I'll either sink it in or at least get it flush. Last thing I want is for that to snap off. I've snapped some heads off before, and see, 2.5 seems to work pretty good. I used to use 3" and just drive it in there, and I might have to pre-drill a hole a little bit more and stuff and drive it. Just depends how old your studs are back there, and then you could have a possibility of snapping the screw off. I've done that before. Once you snap the screw off, you put another one in, chances are you're not going to suck it. You're not going to be able to suck the wood in any further because you've got the broken off threads of the other screw, the broken off screw in there that's preventing the wood to push in any further. So that's why sometimes if the 3" is not working all the way, you can try 2.5. Other places you try a 2.5 and it pushes in. Maybe you could have gotten it a little bit tighter with the 3" if you felt you needed to push it even further, you know. But 2.5 seems to be working pretty good for me anyways. And I like to pre-drill the holes because I don't want to crack the door jamb, you know. And if it sinks in a little bit further, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. And I know, you know, these screws are not going to do it, are they? So now I'm going to put a smaller drill bit in here. And I can do this with the hinge on, or in this case, I'm gonna leave it out and out of the way because I can flop the door way over there. If you had a wall here and the door's coming out of here, you can do it. You're gonna have to. Sometimes you have to remove the door entirely, but on this particular case, I don't have to do that. Okay, I only want to put this in enough to grab it, because if I put it in all the way, then this gets shorter and then it doesn't come out as far as I want it. So I put it on high, and I'm going to put these in at an angle. And I don't want to get caught in the same hole, so I have to go over this like that. Now once I get it started, now I can kind of come back. Yeah. Start it like at a 45, and when you start feeling it, now I can come over. Oh, what am I hitting? I don't think I'm hitting the screw. Might be hitting the nail inside there. Okay. I think there might be a nail holding the casing on there, and I might have hit it, so I just angled my drill just a hair, and I got it. Went right up, slid it right up over that. Or it could have, you know, it could have been a knot or a nail, another type of nail on the framing. Okay, so now instead of using these small hinge screws, I've got the same type of screw. I had to take these to the store. I'm using 2-inch. And I'm going to put it back in with the 2-inch. Now see right there, it wants to fall back into the same hole. And if I drive this in, I'm just screwing right into the edge of the sheetrock. That's why I drilled the holes at an angle. I gotta find that angle, and there it is. Oh, come on. Might have to do this one first. I'm trying to find the pre-drilled one. There it is. Okay. I can get this one in. Looks like that hinge could be tapped ever so little. I'm going to do that. Good. Need another screw in there. Sometimes on those outside ones you might have to use 2.5-inch screws, but those 2-inch seem to be okay. Okay, now I know I'm going to have to work on the next one up, but just for kicks, before I do that, and before I stop the camera, you're going to see what I see. I'm going to just take this off the tripod. You're going to see what I see when we close this. Let's just see how well just that did on our gap down here at the bottom of the door. Look at that. See there? Isn't that nice? We didn't have that before, did we? And look up at the top. Look. You see that? The door's closing up there. Isn't it? It's not even hitting. All I've done so far is I've worked on this one hinge. So I've got it in there. Nice and snug in there. It even looks like the hinge on the actual door has a slight gap on it too. I don't know what that's going on. But see, this gap is less now because I sucked that in. And see, we don't have, like right here, if you were to put a straight edge on this door jamb, you would see from here to here, it bows out. It bows out that way. Right in there. And I'm going to fix that by doing the same thing to this hinge. I'm going to pop that hinge off. I'm going to put the big screws in, and that should drive this in, depending on how tight the shims are behind the door jamb right there. And even if they're kind of snug, the reason why you put in those screws so tight, you can even push those shims in there just snug. You know what I mean? So I'm going to work on that right there. And because that lowered, let's take a look at this. Let's get up here on the ladder. Let's get up there and see, by moving that over, remember I said that was going to lessen this gap on the side. Remember that big gap we had over here? Well, now it's less because this door dropped down that way. So this gap is less, but look at the top. Isn't that nice? I think I'm going to shave off a little bit, maybe from here to there, just on the top of this door, and kind of clean that off. I can see A little bit up in there, not very much. So, man, I almost fixed that just by doing that. Okay? That's making me feel good. Feels good doing things on your own.